What's up, Internet? Your boys are back with possibly the last broadcast of the 2019-2020 NBA season.
We did it. We made it. We're making it to the finish line. Great job of the NBA creating this bubble. It's been nothing but positive stuff. Really enjoyed just having sports back.
Yeah, good job by us. Neither one of us. We were in the bubble, or we weren't in the bubble, but neither of us got infected as well. So
I watched baseball for about 3 innings, so I'm just excited for sports.
Yeah, I did not watch any baseball. So
weird.
I mean, with football and basketball back, I don't need to. There's no facade. I need to.
Yeah, I get it. I was actually trying to take a nap, and it's like this is the perfect thing to fall asleep to. The Marlins were in the playoffs. Everyone destroyed Jeter for making that Aaron Judge trade. For the Marlins to be there like 2 or 3 years later, come on, it's a good job.
Here's my thing with the Marlins. And it's a completely design related thing. This is completely weird. Aesthetic. The Florida Marlins, and I don't think it's a nostalgic thing because they came into existence when we were little kids, and their branding when it came out with that teal and black, the Florida with the Marlin, like the F logo with the Marlin, is one of the best branding design jobs I think in sports history. And I get it. They move. They're now the Miami Marlins. All that I completely understand. But they had an opportunity to turn things around. They tried rebranding again, and they could have just went back to the original thing. And I don't know if this is a Florida thing because the Orlando Magic suffer from the same exact situation.
This is the least of Orlando's problems.
It is, but I'm just saying, Florida had two of the best branding teams and jerseys and logos and everything, and they were just like, nope, how about we do this worst thing instead? And I feel like that at least sums up the Magic and the way that they've handled things.
I mean with the Marlins moving to Miami, I think it's kind of like, hey, we're gonna do our own thing. We're gonna try, we're paying for this.
I mean, I completely get it. Now's the time. Let's go backwards because it's unbelievable that incredible logo and color scheme. They did like it's our anniversary. Let's bring it back for a little bit. Come on.
Speaking of a Miami team, transition.
You see that? Is this a basketball show?
Off air topic. The radio station is gonna be stoked when we talk nothing but baseball and we know nothing about it.
I mean, we just filled 3 minutes of baseball talk. And neither one of us has watched more than 3 innings since we pretended to be fans when we picked out of a hat.
Yeah. Oh God, that was a bad idea.
That was a bad idea.
So, are the Heat done?
Okay. So the Lakers.
Where are you at?
I picked Lakers in 6 initially, and I am still going Lakers in 6.
Okay.
I think the Miami Heat are going to win tonight. And it makes me feel like if Dragic was around, I think it at least really does go 7, and Miami has a legit shot watching it. I just think that Miami is going to fight too hard. I think that like Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero, one of them is just due to go off. I mean, even some of their other shooters.
Well, they have to. I mean, there's just no. If this is going to continue, they have to. Yeah. So I mean, we were kind of talking all along. It's the role players that win these championship games. There's always one that pops off, and the Lakers this series has had a bunch of guys step up, and AD and LeBron are obviously killing them. LeBron is just so goddamn consistent every game, but these Rondo, KCP, some Danny Green type minutes, halves, quarters, this is what's winning games. And when the depth of Miami, it just sucks that we're not going to be able to see the full series with everybody healthy. I mean, granted, it's pretty much been the case with 3 of the last 6 finals. So I mean, it's not this isn't odd, but I would love to see a real full strength Miami team go against the Heat. Go against the Lakers. And I mean, if the Heat win tonight, it's still delaying the inevitable, I feel. I don't know how the Heat can't win 3 of the next 4. So I don't know. I think the Lakers might just shut it down tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it's totally possible. I wouldn't be shocked if they did. I think Miami's got one of those games in them from one of their guys. But it does. The depth issue is the thing. Like, even with Bam back, that was kind of the least of their worries depth-wise. I mean, you see how much harder it is for somebody like Duncan Robinson, who's still having an effect on the game just with his spacing, but you see how much tighter teams can play him when he's on the floor with like Kendrick Nunn instead of Dragic. Like Dragic, they actually have to worry about. Dragic's actually getting in the paint and is a threat to kick out, and the defense has to shift and collapse, and then that's Duncan Robinson's open. He gets one, and now all of a sudden he's in a little bit of a rhythm, and he's hitting these closely guarded shots. Where now those closely guarded contested shots are the first shots he's getting. And
Kendrick Nunn is 100% going to be on the Knicks in 6 years, and we're going to be talking about those 2 months that he showed signs of being great as a rookie. It's for sure. Lock it, book it. It's happening. 6 years from now, we're like, no, like those 2 months though.
He was look.
No. If he just gets back to that, we're going to be a good team.
He wasn't in the right situation.
No, you don't understand it. Dragic was taking all of his minutes, and how do you do that to a young guy? He's not supposed to be on a championship team as a young guy. He's going to rebuild with us for the future.
This is going to be a weird segment if somebody's just coming in cold in the middle of this right now. He'd be the perfect Nick, and he's basically looked like Dennis Smith Jr., but he can't jump high. That's what he's looked like in spurts.
No, he's bad. He doesn't look great. I mean, not having Dragic is killing him. I mean, it's just so much more scoring, such another threat, ball handler. Not having Dragic is absolutely killing the Heat.
Yeah. I mean, obviously having Bam back helps a lot.
No, you need his defense. There's not many bodies to throw at AD, and he's a big one.
I do wonder how bad Bam is hurt, like how bad his neck situation is. I mean, he looked fine, I think, in game 4, but he's, I think, going to be the deciding factor because they really do need to slow down AD. I mean, like you said, KCP knocking down big shots, Danny Green, whatever, Markieff Morris, he at least was somebody had to guard. And at this point, Rondo is just Rondo. Like I think he's going to play well when he's on the court. I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no, he's a smart player. I mean, he's a smart player. He's not going to do dumb things. But, if his shot's going in, that's just an extra threat.
It's a whole new thing. But talking about Rondo for a second. He might be what he is, whatever, in the regular season. And he obviously has the playoff Rondo moniker. But he really does have a very winning effect on teams when he is on the floor in the playoffs. I mean, you look at the Pelicans team that upset the Blazers. Rondo was on that team. You look at the Bulls team that went up 2-0 on the favored Celtics. Rondo goes out, they get backdoor swept. You look at the effect he's having here. I mean, he's just a guy that in the playoffs knows he's been there. He knows how to get it done. He's just so intelligent. He makes guys better.
No, he seems like a late in his career Jason Kidd. That's what it seems like. Is that it doesn't hurt your team to have Jason Kidd on at any time. He's just a smart player who's not going to do dumb things. It really is going to help the young guys and try to get these other guys to pop off like KCP, Danny Green, Markieff, and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's say hypothetically that the Lakers do win. I mean, personally, I feel like even though there's debate about it, I feel like LeBron is deservingly the Finals MVP.
I think it's crazy to say that he's not, in my opinion.
A lot of people, obviously, the argument is Anthony Davis.
Right.
He had a monster start. He sucked in Game 3 when Jimmy Butler was Jimmy Butler and did what he needed to do, willed his team on his back, one of the best finals performances ever. And then you would say, all right, he was fine offensively in Game 4, but he took the challenge and decided to guard Jimmy, and his defense was one of the biggest contributing factors. That's his argument.
Yeah, his defense has been insane. LeBron's defense had, it's not like it's been bad. LeBron's still been good on defense. LeBron, his usage rate and everything that he does for this team, without LeBron on it, I mean, granted, easy to say. Without LeBron on it, this is just we're back to Anthony Davis on the Pelicans. With Anthony Davis not on this team, are they here? No, but they're still a good team because LeBron James is ridiculous. I will never believe that LeBron is all of a sudden just going to defer that, it's Anthony Davis's team. I'm just the second guy. I don't buy it. If LeBron doesn't get this MVP, he's going to be pissed. There's no way that he's not going to say anything. He's too much of a competitor. But LeBron deserves MVP every single game. There's no down point, down anything. It's consistent every single game. 25, 10, and 9 in some variation. Pencil it in.
I agree. I think if we're looking at an example historically of how LeBron would lose it and AD would win it, you're looking at like Andre Iguodala over Stephen Curry, who honestly, Steph, looking back, probably deserved that Finals MVP. His numbers were incredible. Iguodala's numbers weren't that great, but obviously Iggy took the challenge, frustrated LeBron, even though LeBron still gets his, because even when you guard LeBron the best you can, he's, like you said, he's still 25 and 7, 25, 8, and 8. So that's AD's argument.
I just don't see, and I agree with you. I
don't see it either.
I mean, I just don't think that like Iguodala having the effect on making things difficult for LeBron is not the same effect as AD making things difficult for Jimmy Butler, because then you're putting Jimmy Butler and LeBron in the same category, and they're not.
Jimmy looked like it in Game 3.
I understand you're emotionally attached to this. Jimmy Butler is not LeBron James.
Here's my thing.
LeBron's top 3 all time. Jimmy's somewhere.
Here's where it differs. Jimmy was capable of doing that in one game. LeBron is capable of doing that in every game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
That's what makes LeBron one of the 2 to 3 best players of all time, and Jimmy is arguably a top 10 player.
Do you think Jimmy Butler is better than Michael Jordan? No. I think for sure that it's just got to be LeBron. And AD shutting down Jimmy or playing well against Jimmy defensively in one game, that's not the same as what Iguodala was doing to LeBron down the stretch every game that series.
No, because I mean, LeBron is literally the only.
And realistically, that series, probably LeBron should have probably been MVP.
Well, if you're,
I mean, realistically, it's probably LeBron.
If we're going by who should have won Finals MVP by who actually won the series.
Got it.
And LeBron was the best player in the series.
I mean, his numbers are better than everybody's in that series. It's ridiculous.
Here's my thing with Jimmy for Game 5. I don't care if AD is guarding him. He still needs to play the entire game like he did in Game 3 / the first quarter of Game 4. Because in the first quarter of Game 4, I think Jimmy was still 5 for 5.
Yeah.
Something like that. I think and he just stopped being aggressive, and he did the thing, and I get it. AD is an intimidating guy. He is a huge man who moves like a guard. Protects the rim, guards out in space. He does it all. He can play drop. He could blitz. He could do everything. But when he gets to the rim, like, Jimmy has to be aggressive and attack it and attack him and not worried about getting blocked, because towards the end of the game, there's too many of those things. Jimmy gets into the paint whenever he wants.
Yeah, if the bonus feature is if he could draw fouls. If he could draw fouls, that it all depends on the refs that night and what Jimmy does. But if he could draw fouls in AD, it's a different series for sure.
But you can't draw fouls if you kick it out once you get into the paint.
For sure.
And it's, I mean,
but you can get blocked and end up on Twitter.
You can't. I don't think Jimmy cares about that. Other players might. Tyler Hero might. Tyler Hero seems like
for sure.
Tyler Hero's not a care about Twitter guy. He's a care about Instagram guy. He's an Instagram guy. He's like, I don't want to end up on House of Highlights Instagram.
Right.
But that's it. It's basically it. It's like Jimmy and Bam need to have a great game, and they need to be aggressive, attacking the rim when they get the ball. Because Bam's going to get the ball in that free throw line area, and he needs to do his one dribble, get to the rim, crash offensive glass, make it so he's basically doing like prime Dwight Howard stuff where he's just drawing a ton of fouls that way without having to create his own offense. And Jimmy just has to be aggressive and not be afraid to get blocked, and he needs to get fouled. And look, he looks exhausted, and he should, because he's carried the entire weight of the series without Dragic and Bam for the most part. But back against the wall, he needs to attack.
There's no chance Dragic plays tonight, right?
No. I mean, he was listed as doubtful days ago. I haven't checked if it changed. But he tried toughing it out pre-game, game 4, and he just couldn't even move.
Right.
Like, there's more days to rest, but it's such a painful injury. That
I can't just get a yes or no answer. I got clickbait, so I don't know either.
Yeah, well, you're either gonna get an ad or clickbait. So yeah, that to me, it's all about, like, unless you get your Duncan Robinson, Tyler Hero game where they just hit 12 threes combined, it's possible. Iggy has that game in him, obviously, where he can hit.
I mean, the problem is for the Heat, you're betting on a lot of ceilings. You're betting on a lot of ceilings with your guys. The Lakers can have an average game and still win. The Heat, they need to, some of their players, some of their depth need to hit their ceiling games, which, that's hard to bet on or, expect. So I expect LeBron to put up 28 and 8 easily. Do I expect Tyler Hero to put up 35? No, but Kenny, yeah, we've seen it. So, when you're betting on the ceiling and that's how you got to win, that's never a position you want to be in.
No. Little stats. So the Lakers are wearing their black jerseys, the Black Mamba jerseys. They're 4-0 in them. So I don't know if that's a good or bad omen that it's this is theirs to lose, if that matters.
Is this like a Kobe thing?
You know how I feel about basketball jerseys. I guess they wanted to wear it in a possible closeout game.
Sure.
But we'll see how that goes. But yeah, this could be it. This could be the end of our season. I mean, we're still gonna come back in and do fun things with the show once we hit off-season stuff, attacking more of the draft and attacking kind of.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, that's what I'm excited for. I mean, the Lakers pretty much chalk us up as a win. We've covered the series. We've dissected as much as possible. There's only so many adjustments and everything like that at this point that you could possibly make. You just need to let the players go out and play. The zone has not worked. That was laughable. So at the end of the day, it comes down to the Heat need to bank on ceiling guys. Lakers just need to have an average, not terrible game. Yep. Lakers, AD and LeBron need to stay out of foul trouble. And the Lakers will win. So that's really what it comes down to. And then we could start tackling some off-season stuff, which I'm stoked about.
Yeah, me too. I don't know how are we going to go in alphabetical order? Are we going to do it by division? How are we doing it? We'll figure it out.
I don't know. Maybe we'll draw a hat.
Ooh.
Each day we'll pick a team out leading to the next team.
That's fun. I like that. All right. So everybody enjoy the game tonight. It's on at 9:00 again. Just
the worst.
An hour earlier.
The worst.
We're getting old. It's hard to stay up late. And maybe we'll be back for one more day, or I guess possibly 2 more days to talk about this series. Chances are LeBron will win his 4th title. He'll win another Finals MVP, and the bubble season will be over, and we'll move on to the offseason. So till then, have a safe, good weekend. We out.